We're just two girls living on the Upper West Side, taking everything in stride. We're the Jewesses, Blonde Edition, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jewess, the Blonde Edition. My name is Jen, and we also have...
I'm Derica, and I'm married and very harried.
Derica, we have such a special episode today. Guess what? We have the Bubbies.
The Bubbies are here?
Yay! The Bubbies are here. Ladies, you look gorgeous and beautiful. I can't believe that you decided to join us and grace us with your presence.
Why not?
All
of us that we're on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. As you can see, we're a much lower tech show than you guys, still learning the ins and outs of basically everything. So thanks for bearing with us. We are so excited to have you guys here today. Obviously, we were honored to be guests on your podcast and on your show very recently. So we were honored and had so much fun that we decided to ask you guys to be on our podcast.
Yay.
Now, Derica, I think is going to go ahead and kick off the first round of questions.
Yes, we have so many questions for these lovely ladies. And we're just going to get started with the first one. So, Bubby SJ, when we were on your podcast, you adopted me as your granddaughter. So I get to ask you the first question. So tell us about the Bubbies Knows Best show and podcast, and where can people see it, and where can people view it, and all of that good stuff, in case people don't know what it is.
We are on JLTV, which is Jewish Life Television Network, every Monday night, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. We're on every single Monday night, so you can watch us there. And we love you to watch us because Bubbies know best.
We also are on...
Anything else, Derica?
The podcast forums. We're also on there, on the 100 podcast.
Recently.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you guys are starting an empire, right,
Yes.
Derica?
The Bubby Empire. I love it. I think we're going to have like all sorts of swag. Like we're going to have t-shirts.
Yes.
And face masks. You need Bubby face masks.
Bubby face mask. Yes.
So that's a great idea, but Bubby yesterday has Bubbies
have leggings. I could bring them out of my closet if you want to. I'm not wearing it today.
I have Bubby's mugs.
Bubby's mugs.
Have merchandise.
I love it.
I love it too. I am going to ask the next question, if you all don't mind. Bubby Bunny, how did you all meet, and who came up with the concept of Bubbies Know Best? First with the dating show and then with the podcast.
Well, we're kind of like Charlie's Angels. We had Brad Pomerantz, and he is our fearless leader, and he created this idea. And I went on an audition, and I got it right then and there. He picked me, as well as SJ and as well as Linda, and it's beautiful. And since I'm a new Jew in the neighborhood, I mean, this is like my first Jewish project, and I'm very, very honored and very happy.
And we love you.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh my gosh.
Block.
This is
I
amazing.
love it.
So you guys,
they're in California.
I know. You guys are Hollywood
pros.
ladies.
Yeah.
Californians.
I love it. All right. Next question is to Bubby Linda. So have you noticed a difference in men today versus men of your generation? And the same for women from the dating perspective.
Probably. I think that men are different today because women are different today. In my generation, I mean, you never slept with a guy. Well, I didn't. Maybe my girlfriend did, but no. Most of, I mean, we waited a long time. It was, we didn't let them get to first base till several dates later. And so there was much more pomp and circumstance, you might say, in a date, more formal. And nowadays, Well, women are ready to, well, kind of hop into bed sometimes the day they meet the guy, you know, which is one of my big advice to women is stop before you shop. That means
I love that.
get to know the guy a little bit, like it used to be in the good old days. So there are differences, yeah.
That's amazing. Stop before you shop.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to tell that to my husband sometimes.
Not before you stop.
Don't blame me on that one, okay?
That.
I will say that I've had girlfriends tell me, and actually guys have told me this too, that they expect the stooping on the 3rd to 4th date.
It's not
So,
bad. Yeah.
you know, so that's that sounds like a big difference from then and now. It's almost like it's expected. Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have happened. I mean, we thought those girls, right? Like SJ and Bunny, they were like the naughty girls. Slept like on the
Yeah,
3rd
they
date. I mean, I don't think that, not in my circle anyway.
Right,
But
yeah.
interesting, I think there is a movement, especially by Steve Harvey, and we were on his show. I mean, he has the 3-month rule before you get physically involved. And I support him in that.
I say 6 weeks, that's it. If it's not happening in 6 weeks, kick them to the curb, honey.
Well, with that, SJ, I wanted to ask you a question. What advice would you give single women in terms of finding the right one instead of wasting time with the wrong one, aka the schmuck or the schlemiel?
The schmucker. Well, a schmuck I don't like, but a schlemiel you can like mold into like, you know, he's just like, you know, he's not worldly. So I think you can mold him, I think, into, for me, into what I'm looking for, you know, because you don't want to, I always hated these guys who were so slick, like they knew everything and they knew how to dress and they were always like chic and sharp, you know, like, but then they would, you know, you'd sleep with them and they'd leave you right away. So I like a guy that's a little, doesn't know everything and sort of like can be, oh, you mean, and a guy who, like, let's say my husband, he never wore a pair of jeans in his life until he met me or owned one. So he got a pair of jeans, you know, or two. But yeah, I like a kind of guy like that. So don't go for the slick, sharp, chic, like kind of guy, you know? That's
Go
my
for
belief.
the genuine guy behind all
Yes.
of the facade.
Genuine guy, exactly. And don't forget to look at his bank account, honey.
That's genuine.
He's going, what? Honey.
I agree. I actually called my husband, he was a bit of a fixer-upper. So he hadn't bought clothes in like 10 years. He was wearing an old suit. It's okay. Couples shopping trips fixes that, right?
Exactly. My husband too.
They don't know. It's fine. It's just, it wasn't move-in ready. It's fine. A little remodeling. It's good as new.
Right. Exactly,
So,
Derica.
so don't get hung up on what they're wearing and if what cologne they're wearing and what hairstyle they have and
It's
can all
what's
be fixed.
inside that counts. Or
Exactly.
maybe you might say, I don't know.
What's in their bank account?
Well, I agree.
What's inside the bank account and what's inside them, yeah.
Exactly.
And SJ would say, do they polish their shoes, right?
Oh yeah, that's a big thing for me. My mother always taught me to look at a man's shoes because if he's got scuffed shoes, forget about it. He doesn't take care of his shoes. I mean, you can be poor, but yet you can buy a $1 tin of shoe polish and polish your goddamn shoes already.
On Telltale. Mhm.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, Bunny, go ahead.
Oh, don't worry if they have a little bit of perspiration because that tells you that they are single because men who have more testosterone have more underarm perspiration. They have none. They're really married with the ring in the pocket.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I never knew that. How come I didn't know that before?
That's amazing.
That's
That's
good.
okay. I'm not
It's like
complaining.
sniffing.
Well, I have to say, based on the shoe polish comment, I have noticed that not necessarily the shoe polish, but how the guy dresses and presents himself. Is he like schlumpy? Is he untucked? I remember I went on a first date with a guy who literally met me in his gym outfit. And I was like, okay, well, yeah. I was like, this is an indication to me. This is exactly the guy that doesn't polish his shoes. He was not presenting himself well.
Oop.
It's all about, no, it says it's a lack of respect. He's the kind of guy that doesn't have respect for women or
Right.
people in general.
Exactly.
Dump them.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a first and last date.
Correct.
All right.
All right. This is such a fun conversation. So we are on okay, so we're going to move on to something that we had so much fun reading this article from McCall's magazine in 1958. It was one of our favorite episodes called 129 Ways to Get a Husband. So
yes, and it was
loved it.
episode 27, if you have
Yes.
the time to look back. This was so much fun to record.
We literally could probably spend like hours on this just reading this list. But we wanted to ask you some questions, and I think Jen Bubby Bunny is up next. You wanted to ask her specifically about one of them.
Absolutely. So with this article, we don't know if they were being 100% serious or facetious, and we're just trying to get readers in. But if you look at some of the questions from the article that are in this, they're absolutely crazy. Bubby Bunny, one of them is and this is like suggestions. So it says, to meet a man, okay, to meet your husband, have your car break down at a strategic location.
Yeah.
What are your first thoughts with that?
God. Oh my heavens. You gotta, that'd be pretty hard to do. You gotta find the good looking guy with the perspiration, right? And then you have the car breakdown right then and there, and then you got the traffic behind you. I think it's impossible. The one that I loved on that was how to let them know you're there. And it says, wear a Band-Aid because everyone asks what happened. So I got all these. Do you think this will work?
Yes. Yes.
Bubby Bunny's the only single one of the three of us.
Bubby Bunny, can you send me some Band-Aids?
I do. I have a lot. They were on sale.
Oh my gosh.
Now there's going to be run on a Band-Aids. Every single girl is going to buy a whole bunch and tape them all over her forehead.
Exactly. Right.
That's right. Especially if you want a Dr. Bunny.
A Dr. Bunny. And they're going to wear their Bubbies Knows Best face mask.
Right.
That's going to be the mating signal. That is beyond. That is too much. I just can't. Okay, so you have another one. Yep.
I do have another. Oh, SJ, Bubby SJ, this one's for you, okay? This one I thought was very interesting. It could be true. I just wanted your take on it. It basically says, again, to find a man, read the obituaries to find the eligible widowers. So basically, so you have first dibs.
I love that. That's perfect. What a great idea. Look, Bunny's shaking her head no. All right, Bunny, I'm the married one, okay, along with Linda. That's right.
They have corn chips for toenails at that age. No.
Oh, well, you know what? No. I used to cut my father's toenails at the old age, so I don't mind that so much. I think it's a great idea. I really, really do. Like, I met my husband at the bank, okay? His mother had just died. Then we got together. So there you go. You know, it's not that he was a widower. Well, his mother always thought he was like her husband in a way. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's great. Find a friend that knows them. That way you could meet somebody that way. What's wrong with that?
Oh God, I guess I'll start going to funerals.
Look in the obituaries. Look in the obituaries, Bunny.
Yeah, save yourself a trip. Just go online, Google.
Yeah, Google it. Yeah, I look at the obituaries every day. I still do.
Okay. That's something I didn't know about you, but all right.
We're learning new things about each other, everybody.
I have a secret to share. Callista Flockhart very much wanted Harrison Ford. So she saw him at a party. And what she did is she went over to him and, oops, accidentally spilled her glass of wine on him. And look at them
Perfect.
now, right? They're still together.
As long as she doesn't get into a plane with him, she's fine.
Yes, that's right.
Good.
That's right.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah. Okay. So we want to move on to the next one. I have this vision of like people going to funerals all taped up in Band-Aids and like having a Bubbies Know Best face mask on, trying to find husbands. Okay, I have to get that picture out of my mind. Okay. So, and then one of the other ones on the article, this is one is for Bubby Linda. It says, get a job in medical, dental, or law school in order to find your husband.
Okay.
So,
I think out of all the ideas, that is the best. All right. I
Okay.
know, I actually have a couple of girlfriends. I don't know if they purposely became nurses or nurses assistants or, you know, in my days, there weren't too many doctors, women doctors. Now there's plenty, but they did meet their husbands that way and they married nice doctors. So ladies,
all right.
doctor's
Jen.
office or a dentist's office, prime territory. I say yes, go for it.
So you need to find a nice Jewish doctor as like a Jewish doctor that's not so obtrusive, Jen. Like a nice single doctor for like, I don't know, like an optometrist or an ophthalmologist.
I would love a dermatologist.
I was going to say that a dermatologist.
Yes.
That's because they're there during the day, but they're at home at night.
And
Perfect.
every single little thing, I could be like, honey, can you look at this or can you zap that? That's what I would like.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And stay away from anesthesiologists. A, you never know what they're going to give you in your drink. And B, they're the highest paid of all the doctors. So they're snooty and I don't trust them.
My girlfriend married a plastic surgeon, and she looks like this right now.
Well, I mean, there are benefits.
Right.
All right, so Jen needs to marry a doctor. I always told her she wasn't married because she ordered her steak well done. That was one of the ones. You have to order your steak medium rare.
That's the whole reason.
I find that funny. Okay, so this one is for Bubby SJ. It says change apartments from time to time. What are your thoughts on that one for advice?
That's interesting. I myself, I don't like, believe it or not, I don't like that one because I'm sort of like, once I'm in a place, in an apartment, I'm there to stay. So I have, or I just thought you could get some hunky guy to help you move. You know, that's a possibility. But generally, no, I don't really like the apartment changing thing. I mean, you know, now, believe it or not, I'm saying no to something.
No apartment changing.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time and energy. It's somebody that has extra time to change an apartment every year.
Yeah.
I've done it once.
Right, yeah.
And the guy, I mean, he was like 30 years old and what a hunk, and it was worth it.
Oh, Bonnie.
Oh my gosh.
And that was last year, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that last year?
I wish it was maybe this year.
Well, somebody Bunny might need to move again.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I have another question, and this one actually is for you, Bubby Bunny. The other suggestion, now this one I thought was the stupidest suggestion out of all of, I mean, there's a lot of stupid suggestions. I thought this one was dumb. The suggestion is to accidentally have your purse fly open so that all of your contents scatter all over the street so that he will be forced to help you gather up all your things. Now, there could be embarrassing things in your purse. So this is why I think this is not a good idea. But what are your thoughts, Bubby Bunny?
Well, I mean, today it's not a good idea. I mean, you may lose your purse. I mean, just he's around, forget that. Totally, that is ridiculous, right? And that's personally your purse.
Yeah.
And you wait 3 months to open your purse and open a few other things. The candy store, everything.
Okay. So no, she's going to funerals with Band-Aids on her head, keeping the purse closed.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So do not fly open on the purse.
Or the candy store.
In the candy store.
Yeah.
Everything is closed.
Closed.
Mm.
Wow. Well, I have to say that there are so many tips on this list. It just goes on and on. One of them says get a sunburn. Doesn't make much sense to me. Unless again, he's a dermatologist and you have to go see him at the office.
Yeah. But then you
Well,
have
I
like
was gonna say,
third-degree sunburns.
With or without clothes? Now are we talking?
Oh, well, that was not included in that one. The other one I have to say, and Derica and I thought this was hilarious and very dangerous at the time. It said, don't tell him about your allergies. So like, okay, so you're allergic to peanuts and he brings you like a peanut butter cookie. Like, don't tell him.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Different times.
Dangerous.
Yeah, how about the one ride the airport bus back and forth? Hello. No.
Those were the 50s. Those were the good old days, right?
Yeah,
Well,
and
that really goes to telling him, no, seriously, revealing things about yourself before you get married. And we were watching some videos of 30-day engagement or something, and there's a lot of stuff that one guy was engaged and married and never said anything to his fiance. I think you have to kind of tell him about your allergies and about other personal things, or her. And before you get married, you should know a lot about one another and get to know who their friends are. That's very important. Who they hang out with says a lot about their character.
Right now, when I date, I ask them, how's your blood pressure? How's your cholesterol? Before I invest any more time.
Wow, I never knew that about you, Bunny. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Very practical.
Yeah.
Very practical.
She wants
Say
to
it
know
all
if
age,
he's gonna-
honey.
At my age, I gotta ask these things.
ladies, before we end the show, this was so much fun. I wanted to just put it out there and just ask if there's any advice that you would like to. We have lots of listeners from different genres, different ages, all throughout the country. And is there any advice that you guys would have for the singles out there about finding the right person, about not making the mistakes that maybe you guys did or you see that a lot of other singles are making now? Like, what advice could you give everyone out there?
I'd say hang in there when you have problems. It doesn't seem like people hang in there anymore. If you have someone you care about, make an investment into the bank of love every day. Make a deposit in that. And if you give love, you get love. And always treat people with kindness.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
I think you're right. I think that sounds spot on. People are like, oh, this isn't working, on to the next.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe it's worth it to stick in there because you just never know.
Yeah.
Right. And the more you're together, the more you find out the things that you have in common. And I always think that the more things you have in common, the better chance you have of, staying together and making the relationship work.
Wow. I love listening to everybody's saying. Everybody makes mistakes. My dad used to say that's why they have erasers on pencils. So if somebody makes a mistake is okay. I think there's plenty of love out there for everybody to find, but you just have to give it some time. You just can't that person's not right for me right away, goodbye. You have to give it some time to get to know the person. I always akin dating to a job interview when you're meeting somebody. If you're going to take this job, you're going to invest a lot of your time while learning. Yeah, they're investing in you. So take your time. Don't jump into things right away. Like I said, 6 weeks. To me, in this world today, 6 weeks is a lot of time. But just give it some time. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't run away.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Don't
advice.
run away, Jen. Miss Jen.
Don't run away, Jen.
Yeah,
I
already get that about you. I got that about you already because you're a beautiful girl. I see it.
Thank you, Bubby SJ.
Right?
Order your steak medium rare.
I'll do my best, girls. I'll do my best. You guys, Bubbies, thank you so much for joining us. Bubby SJ, where can we find your show and when do you guys air so we can all tune in and see your Bubby wisdom?
Oh, it's on Jewish Lifetime Television Network every Monday night, 5 p.m. Western, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday night, so watch it on that show. It's on every channel. We have a fabulous podcast. You ladies were on it. And look at these other two beautiful women that I work with. We are so lucky to be together. We got thrown in like, a cock of barley and they picked us out, the three of us. Right?
Love it.
We are
How
very
could we
lucky.
lose? Look at us.
We become like sisters.
Oh,
Very
Yes,
close.
we were lucky. We have.
I was raised in a Catholic school. Who would
That's
know? I
enough.
had Jewish sisters.
Oh,
I
this was
love
so
it.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Bubbies, for taking time out of your super busy Hollywood schedule.
Yes.
We want to thank you again so much for joining us. We want to
Oh, yeah.
remind everyone to watch
Today.
Bubbies Know Best. Their show airs on Monday on JLTV at 8 p.m. And they also have their podcast, which I believe drops on Thursdays. Make sure to also follow us, Jewess the Blonde Edition, on Podbean and iTunes. Rate and subscribe. And we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you with us. We are going to say goodbye. Jewess.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you,
Bye.
ladies.
Take us into hay, as I usually say at the end of our auditions. Love you.
Amen.
We're just two girls living on the Upper West Side, taking everything in stride. We're the Jewesses, Blonde Edition, yeah.